Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It is another beautiful Wednesday to get some midweek motivation, and I am so excited to have our guest on today. Louise is just such a incredible military spouse, and she is a spousely vendor. And we're going to talk today about how she has turned the impossible into I'm possible. And I always say this every Wednesday. It's something that's so near and dear to my heart, is being able to learn how different military spouses, veterans, people in our community are really turning that impossible to I'm possible. So thank you so much for being with me today. I'm so excited to have you. And I would love for you to introduce yourself.
Sure. Well, I can now say an award-winning, as of last month, wellness
Yay!
expert. I am a fierce, career-driven military spouse. I am a competitive athlete and a mom of two.
That's so exciting. How old are your kids?
They are 4 and 7, soon to have birthdays over the summer.
Yay, same with the twins. Yeah, they're 4.5. I feel like it's 4 going on 14. I don't know about you, but the attitude is like so real at this age.
Oh, what a joy.
Yeah, and congrats, by the way. That's so exciting. And I would just love for you to share with us, a little bit more about what your military life has been like and how you have navigated different things, because we both know there's always the struggle of having to move around frequently, not having family nearby, and really just finding your identity while, following our service member around. So share with me some more about that.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It has been a crazy, wild ride. It's the way I describe it. But, before I even became a military spouse, I had a very successful business. I was a sports and medical massage therapist for the NFL. Wow. I was contracting with healthcare systems as a personal trainer, wellness coach, and had this beautiful business model. Yep. And was truly getting to the top of my field. And I would describe it as a dream career very much. But
it does sound like a dream career.
Yeah, it was incredible. But I also, met up with a good friend from college who had been, since graduating, commissioned as an Army officer. And, right timing in life. And we dated and ended up getting married.
The things that love can do, right? How it can totally take us off. You sound so much like myself too. We've got this plan and, our career goals and everything, but then love happens and you're like, wait a second, how is this going to work into, our hopes and our dreams that we had for ourselves?
Absolutely. And so Zach is a combat aviator, my husband. So he was deploying for 1 year long tours. And so for about 2 years, I actually drove back and forth between Fort Drum, New York and Ohio, which was 7.5-hour drive one way. Yep. And maintained my business when he was away at training and during his combat tours. But I was young. I didn't have kids yet.
But you know what? You have to do what you have to do. Yeah. And I'm right there with you. I mean, if you can keep having that stability and continue working on everything that you've worked so hard for while trying to figure it out, I mean, I'm right there by your side with that decision.
Yeah. And, it only lasted so long, though. It was, as every military spouse has to do, move, relocating. We start this nomadic lifestyle. So I did leave that wellness business behind and moved up to Fort Drum permanently. And by the time my massage license, of course, medical license doesn't transfer. Yeah. Here I am, an expert back home, the top of my field, and I can't practice my own art. Number one obstacle. And then also by the time I stood up my own business with Fort Drum, it was time to PCS.
Isn't that the hardest thing? It's like anything that requires you to have to renew your license and being able to figure out like, okay, how can I pick up and start all over again each time we move? It's like you start to lose hope because by the time you have that whole process finished, like you just said, it's time to go somewhere else again.
Yeah. So here I am, fast forward 11 years later, and we have PCS'd 9 times in 11 years.
Oh my gosh.
And it has truly been a crazy, wild ride and a dynamic journey. So what I've done over time is just continue to stay in school. I have gotten multiple degrees and a whole slew of credentials behind my last name because truly, I don't know where the Army will send us, and I never know what the job market will look like. So I have over time created this dashboard. If I'm going to be an exercise physiologist, I push that button. If I'm going to be a health coach, I've got that model. If I want
to love that.
publish research, I'm going to push that model. It's truly a dashboard.
That's incredible. I mean, can I get like that dashboard for like my life too and like different things? Because that's amazing.
Yeah. And we know the reality of that is that it doesn't always look pretty at each duty station. Like we do just, given the amount of time, or there might be stigma against hiring military spouses in a certain community. So we might take a lower paying job, less ideal positions. So it truly has been a struggle most of my career.
It's not okay, because especially someone like yourself that, one, is so career driven, two, you're eager to learn, you're willing to put the time into what you need to learn, what you need to know, to continue growing your career and being the best that you can be. So to me, the one thing about the pandemic that I feel like is such an eye opener for a lot of companies is that you can work remote. You can hold a career doing something that you love, but you can also work in that line of field that, one, you're educated in, and that you can make a salary that you deserve while still being remote. Because, for the longest time, a lot of companies just were not open to it. They didn't think it was possible. And, this is opening so many doors for military spouses, just like you said, because we go into a job opportunity and it's like, do we tell them we're a military spouse? Do we, talk about it? And it shouldn't have to be like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very fortunate now to work for a military family company called Vita Health. It's VHEDA, Vita Health. It's so I'm very happy to be able to use all these credentials to drive meaningful impact throughout the U.S. in this role. But it truly has been a wild ride to get here. Yeah. So I'm so encouraged by Spousely for military spouses and the resources that exist now that didn't 11 years ago. Like, we're in such a better place. And what you're doing is just incredible. It's going to take military spouses. You can put roller skates on in their career versus the slow, steady climb that others of us have had.
And the best part about it is we're all just doing it together. And that's what's so amazing. It's just being able to be there for one another, to have the resources and the tools, and, now having a platform like Spousely. And that's my goal with it, is just to continue to uplift one another while also allowing people who are not part of the military community to give back and support us that, do give so much. And a lot of times people really don't understand what the military life actually looks like. I know there's a lot of people out there who love supporting military owned businesses. And my goal through Spousely is to continue to show them that there's actually so many different layers to a military life, and the impact that you can have and the impact that you can make by just supporting their small business that's moving around with them is so amazing. And I know that you have your book on Spousely, and we're so excited to have you on there, just, a part of this ride with us. Can you talk more about your book and how that kind of all came about? Because that is such a huge accomplishment.
Yes, thank you. So when I was in my research fellowship with the U.S. Army Public Health Center, we actually moved in the middle of that research fellowship. So here I was again. I had a commute on my hands of over an hour one way, just so I could finish the fellowship and publish a few times.
Yep.
So I was really exercising, becoming a professional in health communication. Mm-hmm. So taking really good evidence-based information and making it digestible, simple, it's realistic. And so I started to write wellness content, speak it into my phone while I was driving, so that I could archive these tricks, tips, and tools that I've learned. Sorry, tongue twister there.
Yes.
So I would write wellness content through my wellness website, teamvalentineproject.com. Well, here I am, peak of my career, publishing research for senior military leaders, and I got my own health diagnosis.
Oh man.
So here at age 33, instead of designing solutions for others, I was designing a wellness solution for myself.
Yeah.
Truly an exercise to save myself. But in that darkness, in that pain, in that not knowing what to do, I thought about all of the things that I have accomplished in life and
Mhm.
how do I do it? How have I remained this fierce career driven military spouse? How have I remained a competitive athlete?
Yep.
How have I optimized my well being? And I took the research that I was learning in my fellowship, combined with my experience from the past, and took this inner dialogue and this mental model, 5 simple steps to take on any challenge and tackle self doubt. And I wrote it in my book, The Art of Breaking Through. So finally, we
Yes.
have a beautiful little book here as a byproduct of that exercise. But
And that is like, I have body chills because that's why when I talk about this is so just a passion of mine, is because you really did take what you thought was the impossible. And, you know, I know it sounds so cliche or whatnot, but a lot of people don't realize that if you break that up, like you just were talking about with your life and all of the different obstacles and the challenges and going through your own challenge with it, and you break that impossible down to I'm possible, look at like all of the incredible things you've been able to accomplish. You've stayed on the right track. You've continued to push forward. There's always going to be bumps in the road. And unfortunately, you just have to go around them or go over them and figure out the best way to keep moving forward. And that's what's so inspiring about your story. And I love how you just wear this military spouse badge with such honor, because it is one of those things where, you know, it's hard. It's hard to figure out, like, how am I going to navigate the military life and still be me? How am I going to, you know, put everything in place that I've worked so hard for? And so, you know, that is our superpower. It's just a community just filled with so much passion, so much resilience. And the best part is there's strength like no other. And I love that about your story.
yeah, thank you. And, you know, truly, one thing that is hard when we're facing these you know, valleys in life or these dark moments or daunting personal goals, any type of challenge, is we don't have time or energy to waste.
Right.
So the book is probably the shortest self-help book you've ever read. And that was my goal, to be
Yes.
so simple and so concise that
We know there's not a lot of time, just like you said.
No, we don't need a 300-page book to,
No.
you know, look at every single area of health and well-being to be the best
Right.
that we can be. This is just a quick, simple go-to process to tap into your inner greatness anytime you need it.
So amazing. Can you hold the book up one more time just so everyone can
Sure.
take a look, and you can find the book. It is available on Spousely, and I know you've got so many amazing, great resources too through your social media on your Instagram. I saw you have a ton of great links for people to dive into. I know we're both fellow Ohioans as well,
Yes.
so that's so exciting. But yeah, exactly what you said. I mean, at the end of the day, there's never enough time in the day to accomplish everything that we would like to do. So how can we split it up, and how can we make it dynamic, and how can it be powerful to still keep pushing forward? And I don't know about you, but I'm sure a lot of people ask you all the time, how do you do it all? How are you a military spouse? How are you a mom? How are you an author? How are you so established in your career? And what would be the one tip that you have that you can share with all of us? Because my thing that I say is I just don't think about it. I just keep doing it, because sometimes the power of overthinking things can cloud our judgment and can cloud, you know, the direction that we want to keep pushing to. So I just keep going all the time.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things, 2 things. I would say that never forget that we all have a superpower, the ability to rewrite our story at any point in time. I firmly believe that. And I've rewritten my story over and over again.
Yep.
Military spouse, we have to. So, but so that second piece, the fact that we have to fully expect that obstacles are going to appear.
Yep.
It sounds so simple, but then when they appear, you're like, you expect them, right? It's not like, oh, my life is so devastated, I'm never going to ever make it through. It's okay. Change is life. Here's an obstacle. I am strong. I am capable, and I know how. And when you need that support to tap into that inner greatness, that reminder, that was the goal of my book, that those 5 simple steps can be that resource when needed in that darkness to help you truly break through.
Oh, so amazing. I love that. It's so hard because I wish I could come through the screen and like just hug everyone. I mean, our Spousely community, if I could just hug all of our vendors, because it's
Yeah.
just so inspiring, and just being able to hear you guys and just hear your story. It's just so much more dynamic, because the focus with Spousely is not just about the products. It's not just a marketplace to shop. It's the focus is on our people versus products, and being able to hear the stories just like yours, and how these businesses have brought so much hope and have allowed us to navigate. So I appreciate it so much. And I'm on the sidelines over here cheering for you, and so thankful for all of your ongoing support. We have one last question I would love to ask you that came in from Leslie. She wants to know if you have any tips or tricks on PCSing. And why don't you tell people what PCSing is too, for those that might not be part of our military community?
So that is the military change of duty station. Yes, it's getting orders to be assigned in a new location.
Yep.
So the one thing I always do is just touch base with my family, and we establish, what is really important to us in this lifestyle. And so for my husband and I, we recently just kind of wrote down, it's the basic things. It's good sleep, it's nutrition, it's moving every day, and it's focusing on a growth mindset. And so those are what's important to our family. And we live those out here in our current duty station in Columbia, Maryland. But when we move, what are the actual things that we would just want to maintain? So if we just write down a couple of those core values, no matter where we're sent, no matter what the new journey looks like, these are the things that we have to this is our wellness foundation, first and foremost, and we'll be okay.
Amazing. And doing it together, you guys are a unit. So that's the one thing that I like to say, is that no matter where the military life sends us, at least we have, our unit. We're going around, we're exploring new things, we're going through different challenges that, are only making us stronger. And I love to see how I can turn a challenge into a positive, or how a negative can inspire you to keep pushing forward. And you sound like you've got it mastered. And I think you're such an amazing resource, especially for all of those who have joined us today and have truly just kind of heard how your story has evolved. But the one piece that stuck out to me the most is it's okay to change your story. It's okay to, do different things that you love, and it's okay to figure out what your destiny you want it to be. And I'm just so thankful for you, so inspired by you. And I would encourage everyone to head on over, check out her amazing book. And we will be sharing after this the link to the book as well. So appreciate
and I do want to,
yeah.
The one thing I do want to mention is with the book, life has continued to hand me challenges and obstacles. One of them being my father was diagnosed with cancer, had a very long ICU stay with COVID. So all profits of the book do go to support paying his medical bills.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yes,
so
we will make
coming
sure
full circle.
Full circle. And that's what it's all about. It's, how can everything just come full circle? Because at the end of the day, supporting one another, being able to help others when they're in need. And you're just an amazing person. I'm so happy that we've met on this journey.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us on this Wednesday. I hope we have left you with some motivation, some inspiration, and I will share the link on how you can find her book. And thanks for being with us. Bye.
Take care.